Hey guys, welcome to LG Overdrive. This is season 4, episode 9, but it's attempt number 2 for episode 9. I'm the host, Kingsman42. With us live today, we have Lazy Kids in Georgia.
What's up, guys?
Also with us, we have Grandpa Puff001.
I want to know. Wait, what do you mean attempt number two?
So last week we actually didn't have Overdrive because we tried to run it. We didn't have anybody show up, so Dudley and I decided to go on Ring Talk. So it's episode 9.2.
I thought it was like the roast or something. You just couldn't show it.
No. Can't do that. Joining us later via pre-recordings, we will have Dudley to write, and hopefully we'll see him for his round 2 predictions. We'll have Mackie show up today. But before we do start with playoff stuff, we're gonna go typical overdrive business. We're gonna do Bucks from the point segment. So from the point with Buck this week, we're going to be breaking down top defenseman, shitter defenseman of round 1 of the playoffs. So shout out to the 16 teams that played in your defenseman. So our top point getter this week is RD Flag from Manitoba, who had 6 points. Our top goal scorer is also RD Flag, who had 3 goals. The defenseman with the most assists, there were 4 from 4 separate teams, all of them coming from the Western Conference. One from Tucson, one from Stockton, one from Grand Rapids, and one from Chicago. 4 assists, so shout out to you guys. All right. Our lowest plus minus this week, so our shitter plus minus, Sinbin74 and A Salty Sailor from San Jose. -8 this week. Not looking good for a good old Salty. More of a salty shout-out than anything towards him for that. Our top plus-minus this week actually come from the opposite team. Stockton, Bell91, and Night Owl were +8 this week. Our top hitter of the week goes out to Dunks, 15 hits. Dunks went 1-0-1, so 2 games, 15 hits. Good for you, Dunks. You actually broke something that we didn't think would actually break. Defensive with the most giveaways this week was a 2-way tie between 7th and LaRue 97. 7th from Chicago, LaRue from Ontario. Both of them had 20 giveaways this week. And the defenseman with the most takeaways this week was Stays Clan from Ontario, who had 14 takeaways. So good job, guys. Whether it was a positive or negative shout-out, it's always nice to get shout-out as defenseman because it doesn't happen very often. Now, moving on to the actual playoffs. I know we have one guy from Cleveland here who advanced, and we have one guy from Toronto who got swept.
I love getting swept. Yeah.
Darcy's got some broom movement out there. I believe Darcy actually went undefeated.
I was sweeping for Cleveland because we went 4-0 after that 0-2.
Did you go 4-0 as a goalie?
I did go 4-0.
So you had a personal sweep.
I had a personal sweep.
Okay, that's fair then. So we're gonna break down the first round matchups a little bit here. So we're gonna start off with the East Atlantic. First round we had Charlotte and Lehigh. Charlotte winning in 4 straight. What do you guys think was a factor in that one? Either of you?
Oh,
I thought we were just going for the future predictions. My bad. I gotta look at these old ones now.
I'm gonna have to say probably Charlotte's goaltending and their defense over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, honestly, I don't think LHC has any good players. Like they're just a bunch of no names that just scrub by the whole year. So Charlotte actually Charlotte's a bunch of no names, but they actually are good, you know?
Yeah. So it's a bunch of CHLers that got called up, but like actually have talent, and chemistry, which is huge for this game, as we've pointed out several times throughout the year. All right, we're going to talk about the next series. We had Providence and Wilkes-Barre. A lot of people dubbed this game to be this series to be the closest series because everything statistic-wise was basically even between the two teams. Providence took it in 5 games. We know a lot of the Providence guys have a lot more playoff experience, but do you guys really see any major reason why it was so lopsided when the teams were so even.
Penguins kind of went on a downfall at the end of the season there. I mean, they were doing good at first when King and Nye was going, or not King and Nye, sorry. When Arasaki went like what, 14-1-2 or something, 14-1-1, they were just killing it. But then Arasaki just started falling off the whatever you call it, and he just, I guess I'd say, wait, no, never mind. I don't know.
Arasaki is in Providence. King and Nye is on Military.
Yep. Okay, I'm mixed up. Never mind.
Yeah.
But still. Providence. Okay, never mind. That's totally invalid then. My bad.
So yeah.
Have to say that I thought the series went way closer than it was. Probably the defense for
You think defense is the main reason here?
Yeah.
I think personally my factor here was I said it on Rink Talk last week. Providence had a lot of AHL playoff experience management-wise all throughout the roster. Slurpee and Giannis just came up from the CHL this season. CHL playoffs is a whole different ballgame because practically every team makes it, so there's a whole other situation to deal with. And I feel like that might have been a huge factor because they're coming against a team like Gumba, Datsuki, and Deeg, like a strong Providence team. So
yeah, and Canada sucks. So
yes, Canada does suck. He's a shitter. So
he's a cockroach getting in there.
Whatever we call him.
No one wants him around. He's a big old cockroach.
Fair enough. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth about this series. We're going to move Eastern North because we actually can talk about it a little more in depth this one. Utica, Toronto. It was very, very well known that Utica was going to win this series unless something drastic happened. They swept Toronto. Lazy. Let's get a little bit of insight here, buddy.
I played one game. That's all I got to say.
Oh, yeah. If Lazy would have played more than one, they definitely would have won in 7. 100%.
You really think so?
And
100%.
I would have to say also the EA servers on Game 4.
Dude,
I mean,
don't get us started with that. That was some bullshit.
Yep.
Didn't seem to affect Cleveland too much, though.
Yeah, because I fucking told the boys that let's just play the hands we're dealt here, threw on some motivational speeches before every game, and killed it.
Motivational speeches followed by some motivational beers?
No, motivation. Here, I can show you what I was doing. This is the key of doing a 4-0 sweep after going down 0-2. I was actually really pissed. I was mostly pissed because the servers went down because I was pounding. It wasn't Four Locos. I went a little lighter today. These natty rushes, you know. I was pissed as hell that the server went down and we couldn't play our game because I had like 2 natty rushes and some beers and I was just super hyped and ready for the game. That fucking bullshit happened.
Oh,
we did it.
You did do it, which is all that matters, right?
Oh yeah.
I also have to say a bit of goal scoring on our side. Couldn't bury the puck.
Yeah, well, when you have a brick wall like Tatar, that doesn't matter.
We scored on him though.
Yeah. Moving on, we have Rochester and Laval. The only series out of the Eastern Conference that was actually an upset. Rochester winning this in 6 games. What was the biggest factor here, Darcy?
Honestly, I don't know. I thought Laval was going to win because they had experience on there, but I would say the biggest factor would be Angry Fawn because that man killed it last season and he killed it this season. Like, I wish that he had a better record because I would have definitely put him right on that bastion thread. I always say that wins don't matter as long as you have the good stats. Like if you're actually showing that you can perform on a team like Rochester, but Angry Fawn killed it that series. Definitely, that was definitely the factor.
Lazy?
Yeah, I'll have to agree with that. I had Laval in 6. Was not expecting Rochester to win the series.
Yeah, I also had Laval in 6, just for the sole fact that all their pickups towards the end of the season were so strong, and UT's play had been really steady throughout the entire season. So I thought maybe like he could pull it up for him. But I think I agree with everyone here. Angry Fawn was literally the only reason why Rochester won this series. Moving west, we're going to start with West Central. The series that I'm sure almost everyone thought was going to be a sweep. Manitoba took out Grand Rapids in 6 games, 4 games to 2. It was 3-0. They made it 3-2. I feel like that was a huge part that it went 3-2 was because of the servers going down. But they also did smack the RG Breezy line and the privatized line. So, thoughts on this series? Nah, lazy.
Oh, I thought Darcy was going. But yeah, probably I give props to Grand Rapids for pushing it and trying to make it game 7, possibly win it.
Yeah. Darcy?
And probably the huge factor for Manitoba is probably that Arctic Blur line. The rest
Yeah.
of the line's probably
Well, they didn't even play the first 4 games. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
oh.
So they would have definitely they would have been a lot more spread apart if the Blur line was able to play that 4th game to get the sweep. It would have been 4-0 if the servers didn't go down, but
Yeah, probably.
I'm pretty sure that Privatized and those guys knew that they had those back guns just waiting for them, that they knew they were going to win. They went 8-3. They probably just went out there and didn't play the best, you know?
Yeah. Like,
Grand Rapids probably starting pushing for game 7.
well, yeah, that's the thing, right? You go down into the series knowing that everyone in the league thinks you're going to get absolutely murdered. You're down 3-0, and then you come back and you win the next 2 games against RG Breezy line and their 3rd line. And then obviously that gives some hope and puts a lot of doubt in a lot of people's minds. So, yeah, it's a great job, I think, on Grand Rapids' part, taking it to 6 games. But yeah, it's still, it makes me wonder what happens with Manitoba.
Well,
Same.
when we get to the next series, I'll let you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good idea. Moving on, we're going to talk about Darcy's series here. Cleveland, Chicago. Chicago being the favorite, being the only Western series that was technically an upset, even though it wasn't really an upset.
Oh, shit.
Cleveland winning 4-2. Darcy, you give me a little bit of insight here on this one.
Okay, game 1. I'm pretty sure for what Luke said, he said we took 8 penalties. They had they ended the game with like a +0, and they lost 7-1 or something. They took 8 penalties. You can thank Garbage for that one. So they lost 7-1, I think. And then 3-0 apparently was just a bunch of shit bounces. Chicago may have just won the game. You know, I wasn't there. And then games. The best game of the series was game 3 with was this kid? No, it wasn't game 3. Game 3 was, I don't know. I just know that they were all super close games. Doobie played absolutely out of his mind. When their ECU goalie went in, he played absolutely out of his mind. I messaged Dooman after the game. I'm like, yo, great game. He's like, I didn't play a game. I'm like, oh. So, yeah, their ECU goalie was killer. And honestly, those boys were before we went into it, we were like, yep, Chicago's probably overall a lot better than that.
Oh, boys!
What up?
Ooh.
We have the man, the myth, the legend, Mackie out on us in the hockey rink.
Yeah, your boy playing Shinny.
So, Mackie, how's the hockey going?
I don't know, it just started. So, we were
Where's the
kind of
brew?
What?
Where's the brew? You got a mixie in the water bottle?
No, man. I'm driving. Fuck you.
Pussy. Hey, call a cab. You got Uber nowadays.
All right, so Mackie, I know you got to be here quick. We want to hear your postseason predictions for round 2.
Round 2, huh? Yeah, hang on, I got to shout out from Dax first. Dax has a message for somebody.
Oh, Dax!
Yo, what up?
Hey, Dax!
Shout out to my boy Zaka for talking all that shit, how we're buns, but buddy, you didn't even make the playoffs. So have fun with that, bud.
Good to see you, Dax.
Anytime.
Shout out to Dax for making a guest appearance.
Hey, let's see some highlights. Let's see Dak throw one in.
Oh, you want to see Dak's highlights?
Yeah, let's
it's
see.
just a lot of missing the net.
Get
Yeah,
him
right there.
Get him to show his stick handling or something.
I would, but he doesn't have any. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's embarrass him a little bit.
no, it's just okay. He missed the net enough.
All right, Mackie, we're gonna go ahead here. Give us your round two prediction. Sorry, for the Charlotte and Providence series.
It's kind of the same reasoning from the first round where Lehigh had not enough depth to deal with Providence or to deal with Charlotte. Charlotte doesn't have enough depth to deal with Providence, so I picked Providence in 5, I believe, 5 or 6.
Okay. Next series, we got your series in Rochester. I know you don't really want to comment on it.
Utica in 4.
Okay, that's quick and simple. Okay, now we got
We literally average 6 goals a game against Rochester with every single line playing. There's no competition.
Okay. Quick and simple. I like that. Cleveland, Manitoba.
This series is interesting. I picked Cleveland in 6 because Manitoba's second and third lines couldn't beat fucking Grand Rapids. That's brutal. I think Cleveland just has more depth. I think obviously the Arctic line's probably going to win their 2 games, and even that's kind of up in the air because they're 1-1 against Cleveland this season, right? So, yeah, Cleveland in 6.
All right. Sorry, Matt Murray just stole the game for fucking Pittsburgh with that big save. Tucson, Stockton.
5-5-5. 5-5-5 and 5-5-5. That's it.
That's all you got today?
That's all I got
doing
today.
it.
Stockton's doing it. They're going all the way to the finals, and then they'll sweep Utica, and it'll be great.
All right. Any last words before you head off and go play your game?
No, man. I mean, good luck to everybody this round. I can't wait for Tucson to start ringing me in the chat box because we didn't pick them. Fucking crybaby.
Oh, speaking of that, I have your favorite book here. It's the Big Book of Media Ethics.
Oh, fuck, I'm not reading that. I can't read. I'm a hockey player.
I got this in the mail today from Blindsy. He said that I need to look it over, but it's like 400 pages. I don't think I have time to do that.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
All right, go.
We out. We out.
Peace out, buddy. Have some fun.
We out. We out.
All right. Alrighty. So back to our round 1 post show there, boys. We're gonna go to Stockton and San Jose. What was up with that, Darcy?
Stockton, San Jose. I don't know. I didn't see anything in that series. You guys can talk about that one.
So Stockton won that series in 5 games. And I know Dan Hudden rage quit out of 1 game after going down 5-0 in the first. Lazy, go ahead.
I don't know. I didn't actually really pay attention to that one.
No? Nothing?
But looking at the games, they were a bit high scoring in Stockton's favor.
Just a little bit, huh?
Yeah, just a tiny bit. 5-0, 5-1, 6-0.
Yeah. And then
I don't know what
another.
the problem was there.
All right. Yeah, it's strange, but oh well. It's not going to be a repeat of last year. Moving on to our last series in the West, a series that actually surprised, I'm sure, almost everyone except for that one team. Tucson sweeping Ontario. We knew Ontario had a lot of depth, but not to that extent. Thoughts on that, Darcy?
I mean, Tucson is a good team. They take a lot of heat in the chat box, but they got a lot of power weapons on there. I don't think Wickley Moise is good enough to get a 72 point season, but apparently he's doing it for him. So those guys took out Chaos Elites in that first line they got. So that was the big factor where they won there.
Okay, thanks.
What?
Tucson and Ontario?
Oh, that surprised me actually a bit. I think I had Ontario and 5-6. I thought Ontario had the more depth there than Tucson.
Yeah. All right, now before we talk about round 2, I know we already talked about got Mackey's predictions out of it. But I do want to send it over to Dudley. Dudley, of course, will have his segment, his top 10 list for this week. He also has a presentation on media ethics and ethics in media. Again, I'd like to shout out to Blindsy from Tucson. He did send me this book, The Big Book of Media Ethics. It's 400 pages of ethics. So I will get to read that at some point. Probably nowhere in the near future. It'll actually probably just go on my bookshelf and collect dust back there in the corner. But thank you, Blindsy. I really appreciate it. And now I'll send it off to Dudley. And Dudley, it's all yours.
For the 50th freaking time I told you, I said I want my eggs over easy, damn it! How hard is it for you to understand? You're not my dog for no reason. Goodness gracious. Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. My name is Dudley. I am not with the Overdrive group today due to the fact that I actually go outside. Sorry, Buck. Anyways, so tonight's top 10 is top 10 things media can do to become ethical again. Fan off here. Top 10 things media can do to become ethical again, because apparently it seems that our ethics are being questioned all because we like to make basic criticisms. I just think people's panties are getting caught up in a bunch, and I don't understand why. And do I particularly care too much? No, but it's funny anyways. Okay, so top 10 things media can do to become ethical again. Here we go. Number 10, kiss the ass of anyone who complains. Number 9, hold everyone's hands after a remark. Number 8, when stating an opinion, make sure to have all context shown instead of backtracking after your feelings get hurt. Blindsy. Sorry, it's spring and algae season starting to come out. Sorry. Number 7, put a nozzle on faces. Number 6, create a second notorious fat from the fatty deposits for equal coverage. Number 5, tie Down Syndrome Dave to a tree and beat him with socks full of soap until he tells the truth. Number 4, have Brody and Bryson babysit us. Number 3, I was going to mention Sergachev, but I got a 3-season ban instead. Number 2, if we keep it simple and stupid, some people won't get the joke. And number 1, I was going to say something about Melcheski, but that got banned too. Generally, the last one is not supposed to be as good, considering I actually didn't write anything there. Anyway, so now we're going to add a little more flavor to this. We're going to go into a little presentation of how we can be a little more ethical in media. Take it away, John Luke in a suit. Hello, everyone. My name is Dudley Do Right 5, and that I'm... Hello, everyone. My name is Dudley Do Right 5, media guy and player who's trying to stay relevant because my stats are bad. Now, you're probably watching this because you think, the media has been unethical lately. Sure. So, you ask yourself, how can we possibly become ethical media again? Here is how, with 3 magic tips in order for you to have an ethical media show and for us to be ethical as well. The first rule to be ethical is to present meaningful news. You know, when you're trying to do media, you have to make sure that you yourself provide meaningful content to whatever you're trying to do. For example, don't worry in the group chat. He just talks about his tiny peepee. That, my friends, is quality content. Number 2, form an exchange of comments and criticisms. Here are some examples of proper, ethical comments and criticisms. Mackie is a bum, and I hope he loses his game. Playing with CHL talent, like Somatic, made me want to quit. To the clowns on this show, peep the stats. It's embarrassing to watch. I did, Sergachev. I'd ban you just for that. And number 3, make your own media show. So, let's see what's on Blindsy's media show this week. And now we to take a look at what Sergachev has to offer. Okay, well, I hope that was an instructional, fun guide for you to become ethical in media. By all means, I hope you take this and run with it. And be sure to make sure when you do your media show, you follow these 3 rules, because remember, everyone's gonna hate you as soon as you get in front of the camera. So GG and ethical media all the way. Back to you guys.
All right, and we're back. So
Dudley,
now-
that was fucking hilarious, man. Oh my god. The one you said about the one.
Yeah, the one you. Yeah.
Woo.
the one about Blindsy was so great, Dudley.
Oh yeah.
So many
Yeah,
ethics,
Dudley.
so much media.
Good job this week.
All right, so now we're going to talk about our round 2 predictions. There are only 4 series, obviously. First series is going to be our Atlantic finals. So Providence, Charlotte. I will send it off to Darcy first to talk about it.
Providence, Charlotte. I think that I'd say Providence because they got that they have the playoff experience. They got AHL and NHL players on that team. Charlotte's got a great team, but they're just a bunch of CHL kids in their first playoffs in the AHL here. And by the looks of it, Jonas Peterson didn't really have that good of a series, like statistical percentage wise. So he's really gonna have to show up if they want to win.
All right, Blaze.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to add on to what Darcy said. Providence, their defense is great, and they can bury the puck in the net. Have a lot of depth, and they have what's their goal name, Arasaki, who can stand up. Yeah, who can stand on the head back there in net and win games for them. He had a good statistic last year's, I think.
Yeah, so I had Providence, I believe, in 6 on this series. A lot of reasons why is what Darcy said. Jonas is a fantastic goalie, and Charlotte has a lot of depth, especially up front with Alan Chains, and ex-Chucky. But I do think that, again, Providence has so much playoff experience, and it's a lot of friends playing on that team every season nonstop, and they do get far every season. And Darcy's already said it. Ariasaki has been a wall for them all season long, and continue that in round 1, unlike Jonas. So yeah, Providence in 6 from me. Moving on, we have the Eastern North Finals. So we have Rochester versus Utica. I'm going to send it over to Lazy to start this one.
Utica and 4.
Really? Why?
Yes. Because like Mackie was saying earlier, they've beaten basically all of I think he said all of their lines, something like that.
Yeah.
And Angry Fawn will probably stand on his head like usual, but I don't think their defense can compete against Utica's forwards.
Fair enough. Darcy.
I have Utica in 5. I think Angry Fawn will definitely be able to steal a game, but like he was on the season, like 20 and 23 or something. Playing against the second best team in the league, 3 out of 3 games in your playoff series, you're not going to be able to beat them with that kind of record, you know. So I mean, it's not his fault; it's the team's fault. So I'd say Utica in 5.
Yeah. I also had Utica in 5. As Darcy said, I do believe Angry Fawn will steal 1 game. You do look at the head-to-head this season, as Mackie said, they outscored them 24-11, so they were averaging 6 goals a game against Rochester. But if you look at the 2 games that Angry Fawn did play, they went 0-1-1. So he did take them to overtime once, and I think he can do that again. A key factor here is that I find that everyone, I think, played for Rochester in round 1 because they did go 6 games. And the Mackey line, there was 5 of them, or 5 or 6 who didn't play 1 game yet. in that first round against Toronto. So obviously they probably played outside of the actual series, but they haven't had playing time yet. So we'll see how that factors in. Sorry, boys. Moving on, we're gonna send it over to Tucson and Stockton series, so the Western Pacific, and I'm gonna send it to Darcy for this one.
Tucson, Stockton.
Yes.
I had Stockton just because those boys have been playing together for the last 2 seasons now. I know Euro Haffer and that line is a very, very good scrub hunting team or line there. But honestly, I think they'll be able to pull out 2 wins with their line alone. I'm going to say Stockton in 6 because Wickley Morris is going to shit the bed.
I myself have Stockton in 7. I went Stockton in 7 in round 1, and they won in 5. I do believe in the 5-5-5. I've been a member of Stockton before, and I've played with some of their guys, and they are really good. Bell is a very smart manager. He will line match properly, so that way his first line plays their third line and gets the wins where they need to get the wins, which is 2 guaranteed wins if that Euro line plays really well. And then, Tucson, Moist's line did play 1 game. Moist put up 7 points himself. If Stockton's defense can shut them down, it's game over. But otherwise, it's going to be a long series. Lazy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Stockton in 5. Just
So we're
because
going-
I think Stockton's. What?
So go ahead.
What did you say? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go Stockton in 5. Feel like Stockton's forwards. Yeah, I said that. Stockton's forwards will score or outscore their team. I think Stockton's forwards are better than Tucson's defense. Hate to say that, but on statistic wise, yes. So I have Stockton in 5.
It seems like the 4 of us all believe in the 5-5-5, so it'll be interesting to see if Tucson can prove us wrong. Again, I'm sure he'll make a comment about it. Blindsy, we are following your big book of media ethics. Don't worry, it's just an opinion.
Lions, you're a fuck.
All right, moving on to our
FUCC. Thick fuck.
All right. Moving on to our final series, we have Manitoba versus Cleveland. Darcy, I know this is your series. I'm sure you still want to give somewhat of a prediction. Go ahead.
Let Lazy go first, and then I can.
Okay, Lacey, go ahead.
I don't. Okay, Darcy might hate me for this. Actually, no, never mind. Manitoba might hate me for this. I'm gonna have to go Cleveland in 7,
Okay, why?
just because Cleveland has way more depth in my opinion than Manitoba's 3 lines. Of course, the Arctic Blur it's probably gonna get the 2 wins. The other win is gonna come from the Breezy line. No offense to privatizing them. And then obviously the goaltending and defense. They both are equal there in that terms. So yeah, I got Cleveland at 7.
Okay. Go ahead, Darcy.
All right, there's a big factor in this one because not many people know this. Well, yeah, not many people know this, but Arctic Blur, Kev, and I are all on the same ESHL team for esports, which means that we can't play on Sunday. So there's going to be no first line for Manitoba on Sunday, and I'm not going to be able to play in that on Sunday, which means that it's going to be either Manitoba's second and first line versus any of Cleveland, you know?
With
So
Bodas and
basically-
yeah.
So basically, what's going to happen is that Arctic Blur and those guys will be able to play 3 games, but it's going to be the last 3 games, 3 of the last 4. So basically, whoever goes down, if someone goes 0-2 that first on Sunday, that team's going to lose. And I think that the Cleveland boys could pull off that 2-0 sweep on Sunday. And then I think I might be able to steal a game against Blur and those guys because, I mean, I'm playing with them right now in an ESHL game. I beat them in the season before. They're going to hate me for saying that. But I think that if we can pull off that 2-0, we're going to win. If they can pull off the 2-0, they're going to win. If it's 1-1, it's going to go down to Game 7. And I don't know who's going to win.
That is a great in-depth analysis. You brought up a lot of valid points, which I was actually going to bring up, so thank you for bringing those up, that you do play ESHL with these guys. And as you said, you can't play Sunday, they can't play Sunday. That's 2 big games. So it comes down to whether, again, can your top line take out their second and third lines? Can your second and third lines take out their second and third lines? Their second and third lines lost to Grand Rapids, so anything's possible. My key factor here, I think, for Sunday is POTUS. POTUS did not show up very well to play in last series. He went 0-2 to start, and Darcy came in and went 4-0. So I personally have Cleveland in 6. I think Darcy can steal a game just because of the sole fact that he plays with these guys quite a bit. He knows how they play. He might be able to get a read on it, and because they know that he knows how they play and they know how he plays, they might try and switch it up on him and fuck themselves over in the process. So
hey, that big factor there, fucking final game or what is it? The finals? What do you call it? The Stanley Cup? No, the Calder Cup final goalie is gonna be fucking standing on his head in those games 1 and 2 on Sunday. I already know it, POTUS. You're gonna fucking kill it. I'll be there for the motivational speech. I'll join your party when I play my ESHL game, like I did with the last 3 games, and I'll throw in that Rocky motivational speech. I'll fucking hype you guys up, just for you, buddy.
yeah, so that's a wrap on our round 2. So for the most part, we had Providence, we had all Utica, we had all Stockton. And it seems like we all have all Cleveland, so it's a unanimous decision across the board for myself, Lazy, Darcy, Mackie, even though Mackie was very brief. And thank you. I want to shout out to Dax for actually being on the show for a very brief amount of time. It's his brother's birthday. That's why they're skating today and having some pickup hockey. It's just for fun. But it's nice to see another LG face come up and say hello. It doesn't happen quite often for media. Before we head out, boys, do you have any last comments you want to say? Lazy?
I have a question.
Okay.
Where's Risto?
So we don't know where Risto is. It's kind of similar to last season with Grandpa Puff 420 after he got eliminated from playoffs. We will get Notorious on the case with a bucket of chicken and might lure Risto back.
There you go.
Until then, I have no answer for you. Darcy, any last comments?
Yep, I want to give a shout out to Down Syndrome Dave. That guy's a baller. 1 game 1 game 6 for us, 100%. Absolutely stud on D. And I want to give a shout out to that whole cast with Dunks and them. Maybe Dangs will be on next, but go ahead and go watch their Dunks talk, Dink talk, Rink talk. Go watch their Rink talk, and just those boys are fun. So that'll be a fun show, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'd also like to give a shout out to Rink Talk for allowing Dudley and I to go on the show last week. As you guys saw, there was no overdrive, so we were on Rink Talk. And it was a fun experience. It was a little longer of a show for Dunks, and I get that. But I also told him it should be longer because we were not putting out overdrive, and he was okay with it. I'd like to say thank you just straight to Dunks for allowing that. Down Syndrome Dave, you have the wickedest fucking light show going on in your bedroom or wherever you do the show. Notorious, always great to see you on the shows too. So keep it up with the media, guys. You guys have done a fantastic job this season. And hopefully for the Western and Eastern Conference Finals show next week, we'll have Mackie live, not on the rink, just actually here. Hopefully we'll have Dudley. That never happens. He's always at work, so he always pre-records. But without further ado, thank you guys for coming on, Darcy and Lazy, and we will catch you guys next week for your Eastern Conference and Western Conference final preview show.
Puck control by Harvey. One-timer. Oh, stick save. It's a penalty shot. Strength versus strength. Shoot. Score! Shattenkirk's body position Olympics. Moving it to Wheeler. The Rangers wheel one ahead up the wing. And puck's loose, couldn't get through the roadblock. Mailings in his own end, headed towards center. He knifed it away. Snapping a pass to Wheeler. Outlet up the middle to Pavel Bure. Score! Pavel Bure! What control. Skates out with it. Big drive. He hit the post. Score!